In tonight's main event, it's the return of Penta as he battles his brother Fenix Dark, the man who took him out almost 4 months ago. Plus, we got the trios titles on the line with the Cartel defending against OTM and Ethan Page, and we also have the epic fight to the death between what were Dario Cueto's monsters, Mil Muertes versus Matanza. This is episode 30 of the revival of Lucha Underground, Brothers to Monsters. We opened the show with Richard Holliday sat by the door to the underworld, clearly taking his role of covering the door seriously. But we soon learned the plan he had, to replace the Cartel, who have had a busy night tonight. The Creeds and Ivy Nile showed themselves and told Holliday they appreciate his payment to help him, and would make sure the door remains well guarded in the absence of Santos Escobar, Angel Garza, and Tony D'Angelo. Speaking of the Cartel, the Trios champs were putting their gold on the line in the opening match tonight against the undefeated OTM and former long-time tag team champion Ethan Page. He joined up with the OTM after Pope D'Angelo De Niro decided to step down and not compete in their last match. The group earned this title shot by beating an impressive lineup in Dominic Mysterio, Mike Santana and Lola Vice. They started brightly against the Cartel, who've had a lot on their plate lately, and the champs look sluggish. They were overpowered by the larger Bronco Nima and Lucien Price too, but a key moment in the match came when the referee got knocked down. Chelsea Green made her way to ringside just as the Pope slid in with a steel chair. He held it above Santos Escobar's head, but from Chelsea's angle, it looked like he was going to hit Ethan Page, so she put a stop to it. Pope was shocked and glared wide-eyed at her before Ethan noticed what had happened, and also shouted at his former partner. She tried to apologise, but Tony D'Angelo had picked the chair up and drove it into Ethan's gut before hitting Pope in the face. He wailed on Nima and Price a few times before dropping Ethan on it with a forget-about-it spinebuster, and the Cartel retained again. After the match, Chelsea Green begged for forgiveness from Big Bronco Nima and her former partner Ethan Page, while Lucien Price got medical attention on the outside. Pope asked the fans what they should do with Green, and the fans began to chant her name, but Pope seemed to take that as fuel when he handed his staff to Ethan Page. Page didn't know what to do with it, but Pope slowly pointed at Chelsea Green and said that it was fine if Page took her out. The fans didn't want him to. They wanted he and Chelsea to go back and go after Nima and Pope, who glared at them both. But Page is a survivor and he had no hesitations. The crowd booed as he cracked the staff off of Chelsea's face, leaving her out cold. Page wasn't done there. Completely unnecessarily, he hit an ego's edge on his former partner, and Pope offered a hug, and they all raised each other's hands in front of the congregation. Dragon Lee and Samoa Joe have a big opportunity next week as they're going to be awarded a tag team title shot after helping El Jefe the Undertaker, and they're facing the Hyenas. We're also going to hear from El Grande Americano after he attacked his friends Rayo and Bravo last week, so lots to look forward to in 7 days already. Our brilliant session band, Vote Pedro, were on our screens next, getting the crowd excited for the next match here tonight, before the Lioness Natty made her entrance, shortly followed by Vikingo. Two awesome in-ring competitors fought here, putting their different styles to the test in a great clash of technical veteran master versus incredible young high flyer. Natty had a lot of it her own way. She was able to counter a lot of Vikingo's fast offense with submission attempts and takedowns. However, as she closed in on victory, she was distracted by the arrival of Panther Ali on the stage. He shook his head when she turned to look at him instead of her opponent. It was all the opening Vikingo needed, and he dropped Natty with a tornado DDT, headed to the top rope, and dropped on her with a 630 to score a big win. The Cartel relieved Richard Holliday at the door to the underworld, passing the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile in a bit of a tense stare down. They asked Holliday how he was doing, but El Jefe the Undertaker arrived to scare almost everyone. Santos told the leader of the locker room that the Cartel will focus their energy on guarding the door now that they have retained the gold. He said that nobody should open it from this side, and the Legend of the Temple won't like what might come through it from the other side. Holliday told Taker that he would help, and he's sure they can gather others to do the same. Everyone looked worried. Elsewhere in the temple, Dom and Rey Mysterio were sharing a joke as Rey asked his son if he had everything he needed ahead of his bachelor party, which is in a few short weeks. Dom said he was all sorted, but things got a little more tense when Dragunov showed up. Dom took his leave as Dragunov asked Rey if he really trusts his son again, and Rey said that he does, and next week they have a number one contenders match for the trios titles. Him, his son Dom together again with his protege and future heir Dragunov by his side too. This Clash of the Titans has been coming for months. There was no way these two monsters could coexist forever, and their feud and final battle was accelerated by Dario Cueto's meddling and him not being true to his word when it comes to reviving Katrina. They were always going to fight, and the announce team said they were surprised it took this long. This match was a fight to the death, meaning that only one monster could walk out of it, the other would be condemned to an eternity in hell, and they both fought like it was the last match of their lives. For one of them, it would be. Both men received cuts to the head, and the image of the blood coming out under Matanza's mask was a sight to see, like something out of a horror movie. But with his own blood in his mouth, Dario's beast of a brother got the taste for it, and he made sure Mil Muertes bled more than he did. The finish came when the Red Witch herself arrived at ringside. She pulled out a burgundy velvet bag and revealed that it was full of glass. She threw it into Matanza, who hugged and kissed it before sprinkling it out and eventually hitting his sacrifice to the gods on the glass shards. Matanza rolled Mil into a coffin and closed the lid. The man of 1,000 deaths was gone. Dario Cueto couldn't hide his delight, and the Red Witch raised Matanza's hand in victory as the group slowly made their way up the ramp. Not even Mil Muertes could stop Matanza, so who can? The Red Witch grabbed a microphone and said she had a very simple 2-word message for everyone in the Lucha Underground. She paused for effect and then simply said, "TikTok." Backstage, Lucha Underground champion Chad Gable was finding everything a bit much. He said this place should be just about who's the best, and right now that's him. He represents a group that he called the Pantheon. There's no secret doors to God knows where, there's no tribes in Pantheon, they're just here to save this place and out-wrestle everyone. Just then, Penta walked by. Gable got ready to fight, but he was also a bit intimidated as the former 3-time Lucha Underground champion walked across his path. He asked Penta what was in the bag, but Ciro Miedo just smiled. He was on his way to the ring. Brothers to enemies, and Fenix Dark resembles more of a monster these days. Penta, on the other hand, is the uncrowned Lucha Underground champion, having never lost his belt for the 3rd time around. His first reign was epic, his second ended the night he won the title, and the same arguably happened this time around too, with Fenix interrupting his celebrations to attack his own brother and break his arm. That was 4 months ago, and this was Penta's first match back after that. He was out for revenge. Fenix laid it in early, but as soon as Penta got the upper hand, the demonic high flyer was on the back foot. Penta dominated, but every time Fenix hit, he hit hard, and the two brothers shared an intense brawl, the kind they would have had as kids if left unchecked. Both men ended up with torn masks, and both tried to land the ultimate disrespect on each other. The Mexican destroyer did for Fenix in the end though. After an intense battle, which took years off both men's careers, Penta was victorious. An exhausted Penta dragged the duffel bag he brought to the ring with him. He crouched down, unable to support his own weight very well after a grueling match. He said that in this bag is something he holds very near and very dear. It's the main reason he came back quicker than the doctors thought he would. He has 2 missions in Lucha Underground now: bring his brother back from the darkness, and then he reached into his bag and pulled out the Lucha Underground title belt, the one that he was never officially stripped of. He said that Chad Gable walks around here a fake champion, a fake tough guy, and he said he's returned to save his brother and to win back what he never lost. So, let me know in the comments. Episode 30 is in the book. Penta versus Chad Gable, 2 champions, but only one can reign in the temple. So who wins when they inevitably clash? And don't forget to join me next time. We know that Samoa Joe and Dragon Lee will get a tag team title shot against Los Hyenas, and El Jefe the Undertaker has a plan to deal with that mystery door. Thanks for watching. Now make sure to like, comment and subscribe for free so you don't miss an episode. It'd be great to hear from you.